I'm typing an email. No thanks.
Zoe McPherson, who goes by the artist name Zoe McPherson, stopped by my city, Montreal, to play at an awesome experimental electronic music festival called Mutech. And I'm lucky that she had time to stop by and give her take on the Analog Rytm MK2. Her music and socials are linked in the description of this video, so make sure to check that out. The sole focus of the video today is the Analog Rytm, and I just thought that despite having like a similar background as drummers, so like a rhythmic approach to music, our taste in music is completely different, which I think shapes the way that we approach sequencers, analog rhythm, whatever instrument that we're going to use. This video is filled with pro tips from a pro, like a touring musician. And I'll be chiming in here and there with my own examples to help clarify my understanding and possibly your understanding of Zoe's approach. There is an affiliate link for the Analog Rytm MK2 in the description of this video. If you feel like it's helped you in any way or maybe pushed you over the edge of purchasing the unit, please do use that link. It helps this channel a bunch, doesn't cost you anything extra. If you want to go the extra mile, I have a Patreon with plenty of exclusive content, and I also have a Discord, which is a constant discussion about synths, and it's free to join. All of that in the description of this video. Let's get on with this session. Thanks for being here. We chose the Analog Rytm for this demonstration. How would you use this? Is it more of a production thing? Is it more of a live set thing? Like what's your approach with the instrument?
For me, it's more of a jam thing, but I haven't used that yet for recording.
Okay. Like, do you use it in a live setting too?
Not currently, not on my own.
Would you consider it?
Maybe, it's a bit big, but I think the Digitact, like it's maybe a better compromise. For me, I have to like make sure I like the sound first of what's coming out before starting playing around with. I'm just gonna go through the different tracks in there and see if I like the sound.
3 hours later.
Actually, I like this part in terms of the sound of the analog, but then this part is not so nice, I think.
Yeah,
the original sounds,
I think the same thing, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
the low end
the
is,
hi-hats, not amazing.
Like, the kick is great.
Exactly.
Let's actually take a closer look at the analog drum sound. Starting with kick, me and Zoe agreed that it sounds great as is. We won't go through everything here, but there's also a bunch of different types of kicks in here as well. Sharp is pretty cool. Could add a little bit of tick in there. Change the decay of that kick. So there's a lot of control that you have there, which is great. I also like the rim shot sound delay on there as well. I just find that it responds really well to that. All of the toms are so great. There's the, I guess this is called the bass tom, low tom, mid tom, as well as high tom. These are all amazing. Once again, you have that same sort of control, decay. You can tune them as well. Noise. So you have that same sort of control with all of the toms. And then there's the top row, which gives me like a 808 sort of flavor. Again, if you want to, you could switch out some of these. This kind of sounds FM-y. Right, so you really have to work it. And I find that no matter what sound you choose on the high end, it does sound very old school. I actually find myself going more for noise, just straight up noise, which again, you have more control of. So you could do some cool stuff with this. Maybe add some delay to this as well. Right, so to me, that's just a lot cooler than a cheesy 808 type of hi-hat. All right, now let's check out how Zoe incorporates breaks with the Analog Rytm. Ooh.
Oh yeah. Sometimes breaks work, but you have to like change their pitch for it to work. I'm trying to have like the break to like fit in the BPM, you know, because
yeah, I know what you mean.
Sometimes it works that it's weird, you know, or especially if you're not using the BPM at all, and then you just create your own weird rhythm, which I do use sometimes. I don't even use the BPM. Okay, that's cool. I like that.
Just testing it out.
Basically, that's kind of how I make hi-hats. It's pretty good, but you have to have your hands on, because then it's gonna like...
Yeah, I was on nuts. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Next is Zoe's Ambient Noise LFO Pro Tip. Okay, wait. So you have to break down what you just did there. What was that?
An LFO and frequency filter. Yeah, had it full depth. I was checking what type of LFO. If you like have it extremely speedy, the LFO, it creates this sort of noise thing. You see, like that's without anything. And then with the LFO on it.
But that's on... Which channel are you on?
Oh, it's
on a longer sample. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a synthesizer recording.
Everything that you've tapped in so far, there's no quantization or anything. Is that one of your things?
Yes.
You don't quantize at all?
Not really, no.
Okay.
I find it more interesting to like combine some things that are just dialed in, because then it sounds a bit groovier, you know?
Yeah.
If you think about Flying Lotus hi-hats, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you think about
yeah, it's a little bit swung.
It's amazing. It sounds amazing because of the hi-hat. Like the hi-hat literally makes the tracks. I mean, it's more this like hip-hop inspiration, I think, also.
It's just so funny because like I'm also a drummer, so I've come from like a similar sort of background, but now I'm fully into the sequencer thing and I plug everything in.
Yeah.
And then I'm like humanizing stuff by using the nudge functions and stuff like that.
Okay.
Whereas you're just like blah blah, just doing it.
And
tapping it in. So it's just really interesting. Yeah. I feel like it's becoming more and more of a trend for people who use sequencers to want to like humanize stuff a little bit more.
Right.
And sometimes the answer is literally to just
be human first. But here, what I find quite cool to do is to use also the repeat.
Oh, I never look at that page actually. Oh, okay. So how did you get to that page? You Oh, okay. So you could choose the rhythm of the retrigger. Okay, got it. Here's another interesting thing that Zoe does, and it has to do with stacking samples on one channel. And I will break this down for you in a second. Okay, so now I understand why you layer the analog sounds with some of your own samples.
Yeah.
Because you're getting that rhythmic aspect of the hi-hat.
Yeah.
But you also have your vocal over top.
Yeah.
I really like that effect.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, true.
I wanted to show you a clear example of what's going on here, because I think that this is a really cool effect that Zoe turned me on to. On this pad, I have an analog sound, just an analog hi-hat that's playing. So I could just plug in whatever rhythm that I want here. Let's say something like this, whatever it is. So that's the rhythm. If I stack this rhythm against a longer sample, so I'm going to stop this. In this case, that's the sample we're going to stack it against. So it's just a random like rhythm that's playing. Alone, this is what that sample sounds like. I feel like it's missing a transient. So that's where that hi-hat might come in. And then if you want to, over top of this is like kind of the icing on the cake. So now it just becomes this really cool rhythm. Just to give you an idea of before and after, if I take that long sample away, it's this. Bring that sample back. This is something that I talk about all the time, incorporating samples like this into your beats to sort of add maybe artifacts or just to make them sound more original in general. The next thing we'll be getting into is Zoe's no velocity approach versus my velocity approach. Before getting into that though, if you're watching this video, there's a good chance that you're interested in releasing your own music, possibly independently, releasing it to the world officially to places like Spotify, maybe Apple Music. Well, I'm here to tell you that DistroKid is specifically designed for independent artists looking to release their own music. People like myself, possibly you, and here's a few reasons why they're great. In terms of what's new, they recently released a smartphone app, which makes checking your important DistroKid stats easy and accessible. The app is now available on Android through the Play Store. Essentially everything that you've been able to do on the DistroKid desktop app, you're now able to do through your smartphone. In fact, here's a list of key features that the app offers you. You might want to pause it now if you want to check them out. In today's day and age, we all know how many hats we have to wear as artists and producers. It can just be a lot, so write the music, produce the music. Then you've got to create content to promote it a few weeks before it's released. Then you've got to continue creating content after it's been released to promote it. It's a lot, and I'm not saying that DistroKid does all of this work for you, but they do make it a lot easier for us with the free promotional tools that they offer. The one I use most is Hyperfollow. It's essentially a free landing page or link tree. It's super clean. You could link maybe your latest video, your latest single, other important links you'd like to lead people to. I also use promo cards whenever I release a single. Just select the single that you would like to promote and it'll auto-generate a few different options for you to choose from. Go with DistroKid. It's just over $20 a year to release unlimited music to all major streaming platforms. You keep 100% of your streaming royalties. So many other tools that they offer for someone who's independent. They're made for us. And there is a discount linked in the description of this video if you would like to join. Do you ever play around with velocity too?
Yeah, actually, yes. Once you get in the rhythm and you're bored of the loop, then you go more into detail, obviously.
The one downside of using velocity, especially when you have like more rhythmic stuff, I find, is that it's really easy to step into Afro territory, especially with like techno stuff.
Okay.
For whatever reason, if you have like all these rhythms happening at the same time when they have velocity, it almost adds like a jazzy Afro feel to it.
Okay.
That's why I like this, that you're not adding velocity, because it's just like straight.
Okay.
More, it's like more techno-y, I guess, more electro. Yeah. Don't think about it too much.
No, I'm not really thinking about it too much.
Yeah, I'm trying to make you think about it.
Yeah, now I'm thinking about it.
You said you use this mostly to jam. Would you maybe come up with an idea and then export it, use that as a scene maybe? Or is this really just for like in the moment jam and then that's
I haven't used that to record. I just like use it to just feel like I'm a musician, you know, and enjoy, you know, because like when you're on the computer, it's really fun too, but you're on the computer. So that's it. It's just more fun. You're like, I'm making beats, I'm making something. But I mean, come on, this is really great quality.
Awesome.
Plus you can also record individually, not to make promotion for Elektron. For live, I don't want to jam completely. Like I've spent so much time on every single track, and it's like, quite complex, and the sound is really good, so I know it's sounding perfect in the club. When I'm sound checking, I'm making sure the frequencies are great, etc. I want to use that what I've made and blast it in the different clubs I'm in. I don't want to just jam.